My mom told me not to talk to strangers on the internet, but I'm glad I didn't listen. We are the Certified Nunas, your sisters in the love of Asian entertainment. And today we're going to talk about another musical perfection in the world of K-pop. But before that, what have we been up to recently? Well, just yesterday, by yesterday I mean the day we're recording this, not the day last week, on the 29th of January, we held a group watch of Train to Busan, which went swimmingly. We made some new friends. It was a good time. We all had a moment of pure togetherness right at the end there. And
we cheered together. We laughed together. We cried together.
We blocked trolls together. It was a delight.
And we will be doing something like that again soon.
Yes, because it was so much fun that we just can't help ourselves. We need more. We need more movie nights.
So watch our Twitter for like polls or something, because you know we want to know what you guys want to watch. So
exactly,
we will ask.
We don't want to watch everything.
We might ask what night's appropriate, but last time I asked, the poll came out totally even.
Yes, so it was all 3 nights. Tuesday was a good night though. We had a good. It was fun. It was a good time. So what else has everyone been watching?
Music-wise, like videos and stuff, or
anything, drama.
I have been very amused by Haeyeon had a new song come out. I think it was last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, called Flower. And it's super cute. The video is basically like fan vids and all kinds of videos of other people having little parties and doing stuff, but then also like videos of him doing stuff, or like fan vids that people have taken of him at meetings or at concerts and stuff. And I think I didn't quite get the concept, but like he's been posting stuff on his Instagram about it. And I think it was that he asked people to send him in these fan videos for his birthday. And then he used them to make his music video. And the song's kind of cute. Like, I don't love the song, but the video is really cute and fun to watch. So I like that.
For me, I haven't been watching too many like music videos, but I did recently take 2 hours out of my morning the other day to watch the pure chaos of the Monsta X in the Kitchen V Live.
Oh, yeah.
Where Minhyuk and Kihyun attempt to cook pizza and corn with cheese. And it's just...
corn with cheese?
It was the messiest thing you've ever seen. Like at one point they broke their manager's iPad case by spilling juice on it. Like everything goes wrong. Like it's pure chaos. Like Hyungwon shows up looking like a refugee child with like a fur hat tied and like just 5 layers of clothes. Like it's chaos. It was delightful. It's on VLive free, fully subbed. Hilarious. Do recommend.
VLive is a treasure trove of that.
Oh, it's a treasure. It's just it's a treasure trove of chaos.
I used to have it on my phone, and I had to get rid of it because I didn't have enough space on my phone, and then I got a new phone, and I keep forgetting to put that back on, so I need to do that.
I mean, I use it on my phone, but I like watching the videos on my laptop, too. I mean, at least I'm happy that even though it is largely a phone app, it's nice that I can also access it on web.
I like that it's a free app that you can watch internationally. Like you don't, a lot of like these apps that they have, they're only Korea or only Asia or whatever, but
like Line. When you want to watch something online and you're like,
you need
the special international like links and stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, man, I just want to watch the fucking show. Like just
But VLive is like usually you have to like wait a day for the subtitles or like a few days if it's a really long video, but it's free, so.
Well, it depends on how popular your group is and stuff, but yeah. For me, I have been in Comeback World with Astro and ATEEZ for the past 2 weeks now, I think. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So it's been a good time. Between all the content, there's been a lot of radio shows, there's been a lot of fun little VLive stuff.
You're being fed well.
Yeah. So there's that.
Their babies had a win.
Oh, yeah. Won!
So from square one, I would stay up. Well, no, I would go to sleep and then I'd wake up to watch all these live music shows and then wait to see if they would finally get their first win. And so the second week of competing, they finally did get a win.
I don't have that kind of stamina to like schedule these watching for my faves. I'm just like, I'll watch it later. It's fine.
If it wasn't such a big deal for them, I really, I think I would have just watched it the day after and it's not such a big deal. But because they've been around for like nearly 4 years now.
Yeah.
And it's more like they haven't been getting the results that they have needed to get. So, anyway, yeah, they finally got a win. The fans worked pretty hard for it. And then Astro cried a lot. Everyone cried. Everyone was happy.
Aww. Were they
so
wearing
cute.
their like Ajma jacket?
Yeah, were they wearing their like middle-aged rich lady?
No, luckily it was a little bit. I think there was a little texture of that, but it wasn't quite the Ajma jacket.
I have to admit those jackets are awful. Like they could go
Chanel
slightly sexier on their concept. Just maybe sort of skew 20-year-old male rather than 50-year-old rich lady.
To put you into the concept that they were going for. So with their music video, they kind of went provincial or very Beauty and the Beast Eastern European-y. And so that's why they thought that outfit.
They could have been wearing like sick like royalty like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying
they were a misstep. That's all I'm saying.
Could have been worse because I saw some crazy stuff watching these shows.
Like the soft pastel look that they've had for this comeback. I have enjoyed that in general. It's nice. Yeah. It's a nice change from a lot of the times the comebacks we're getting lately are more dark or sexy. It's a lot of leather. It's a lot of harnesses. Stuff, which we're not complaining.
No.
Soft is a nice
So even when Astro suddenly had harnesses, which I think it was the first time that has happened, as far as I know. They were like these light colored leather.
They were like tan and
the light denim. It was the cutest harnesses you could ever wear.
Yeah, they weren't no Monster X harnesses. Like, they got like chokers and chains. And
well, even Cha Eun-woo, he even had a little leather collar on, and people were kind of dying about that, which is pretty funny. But Rocky had like gun holsters, which of course were empty. But they just looked adorable. I mean, I know they were trying to be sexy and stuff, but it was just cute. But so when they boo-hooed a lot and everyone else cried, then what was kind of neat about that show, the show itself was called The Show. That's what it's called.
Mm-hmm.
And they usually, after they kind of show the winner for a second and then the person struggles to sing, usually because they're just so excited, they usually then cut away. But the show didn't do that this time. They allowed more screen time.
Aww.
So they showed Astro like interacting with the fans a lot more. And Astro had promised if they got a first win, they would perform without their shoes. And so all of a sudden one of them remembered, so then they took off their shoes and they were still crying. And
I'm like slowly getting into Astro. I like Moonbin's vibe. Like I like them well enough. I'm just, I got a lot of groups on the go.
There's only so much space.
Like,
so,
there's
like everybody
in my
a little
day.
bit, but I can't like everybody
immensely
100%.
And then the groups that I like all have large amounts of members, because like my top 3 groups at the moment are EXO, Monster X, and 17. Like remembering all their names is a struggle.
Whereas that was one of the appeals of Astro to me. I was like, ooh, 6 guys. I can do that. Like, I can figure that out. 2 of them have English-type names. Okay. So, and then ATs, they have been just killing it.
That's true.
Korean side, I still think they did pretty well, but they have 8 million views on their music video, which is...
For a rookie group, that's pretty good.
I mean, this is their first comeback.
Mm-hmm.
They debuted only 100 days ago. That's pretty crazy.
And they're already having a world tour. That's pretty...
Yeah, and I've heard that some people get concerned about that because I think other newer groups that do that sometimes have financial issues later, depending on... Because it takes a lot of money to do those tours.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But to me, their popularity is
exploding, so...
Yeah. So I don't think it's that big of a risk.
You also make the most money on concerts.
Yeah.
The general admission tickets aren't that bad, but VIP, which I did not choose to purchase, by the way.
You're like, listen, I'm not that well off. Like,
oh, well, I mean, I can mention that it was sold out before I got to the VIP tickets. That's fine.
Wow.
There, the truth comes out.
She didn't even have an option.
Like, a lot of times the VIP and stuff, like, it's not as good as what you get if you're in Korea, right? So it's like high touch, but it's basically you're like running past them, giving high fives, like done. Yeah. And you paid an extra $150 for that. Like, no, I'm good. Like,
to be smushy at the front, it's like, no, that's okay.
Yeah,
and then you see like what the high touch for the Korean stuff is, and it's like they're actually standing there holding hands with them, talking to them. You're like, yeah, we don't get that.
You're like, this is bullshit.
Not what's happening over here.
Yeah, I mean, if you got like in a little extra little fan meeting or something, like that would be enough money for that.
Yeah, like that would make more sense.
I'm not going to downplay it. When the Astro tickets come up, we're going to see what happens. So
you're putting your fate out to the wind.
Yeah.
Who's gonna see? No, if Monster X goes on tour because they're having a comeback soon, I have had a tentative agreement from Briggsy, the husband, that perhaps a little vacation in New York City that included, mayhaps if it works out, Monster X tickets. We'll see what happens. Might be a fun couples trip. He doesn't care about Monster X at all, but he does care about making me happy. So, T-list husband, back at it again.
I was just gonna ask Jesse what's up. So.
Oh yeah.
I haven't been doing much. No. I have been on a kick on 2 p.m. because 2 of my members are gonna go enlist soon, so I'm feeling the feels, especially because one of them's my bias, Chansung. So I've been like rewatching a lot of like 2 p.m. stuff, like some of their variety stuff and that sort of thing, and listening to a bunch of 2 p.m. I also got super addicted to Dreamcatcher. Randomly, I'm now obsessed with them. So I've just been, I literally, I don't think there's a song of theirs that I don't like, which is very bizarre because like they were not on my radar at all. So I've been doing a lot of that. My life's boring.
No, it's just different. It's interesting on an internal level. You're interested by it. Just,
true.
To the outside world.
To the outside world,
they don't know the rich tapestry of your inner mind.
Today I saw a link for the Korean Hip Hop Awards, and it was like, okay, go here and, sign up, and then you can vote for these awards. And at first, like, my phone is translating everything from Korean into English. Okay, no problem. And I wasn't really thinking too much of it. And I'm going through and I'm thinking like, I don't recognize too many of these names. I'll throw this person a vote because I recognize them, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then I realized about halfway through that the algorithm or whatever that was translating their names as into words. So it's like, that's why I'm not getting this. And I didn't realize it until I got to like Haeon, and I was like, that's a picture of Haeon, but it says low temperature under him. Like, it's Haeon. And then I went to Google Translate and I put the like Hangul for his name in and translated it, and sure enough,
low temperature.
It means low temperature.
I voted on like the Asian Actor Awards or something like that a couple months back. And yeah, it had, if I clicked on the browser to translate everything, all of a sudden like Chanwoo was something about a car. I don't know his name. Dio's name, I wish I could remember what his was, but it comes out something really crummy. Poor guy, I don't remember what it was.
Doesn't it come out as abdominal pain?
Yes, abdominal pain.
Well, and I felt bad because by the time I realized it, I'd already voted in like half of these awards or skipped them because I didn't recognize anybody, right? And I think some of them I really wouldn't have known. Like, I like some Korean hip hop, but I'm not so steeped into it that I recognize all of it. And a lot of what comes out isn't for me. So like when Spotify suggests it, I'm like, nah, not for me. Don't like it. But it wasn't all the usual suspects kind of thing. So I voted for what I recognized, but they wouldn't let you go back and change your votes or anything like that. Done. too bad. You didn't know, and now you voted for the wrong thing. And I was like, usually they have a picture with it, so I voted for things that I recognized picture-wise, even if the name didn't seem to match up with what I thought. But yeah, it was a bit of a, oh yeah, I have to remember that I need to double check some of these things before I throw my vote there. So,
I get amazed at all the voting things they really like in the K-pop world and all the music competition shows and all the award shows. So much voting happening. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I liked that this one was very forward about exactly what you were doing, exactly how the voting was counted. They've got a panel of industry, like people from the industry who are members of the, like, I don't know, hip hop union or something. They vote, and then the fans vote, and the fan vote is 50% and the other is 50%. So you could have wildly different perspectives, even if you've got those crazy, fans who are building up like 1,000 different accounts and going in and voting every day. They can still only tip 50% of those. So if they vote for somebody that really isn't good or really isn't that popular, it's not going to skew more than 50%. Like they're still only going to have 50% of the vote, not 75% of the vote or whatever.
That's actually another thing. So I really hadn't watched these music shows in their entirety before and learned so much about the voting process. But so with those percentages, the music competition shows are widely different between them. It's really odd. So sometimes it is if they got mentioned on Twitter and they'll get some score from that, or digital sales. One show was 65% is like digital streaming. Physical sales were only like 5% of their score, which does that really make any sense at all?
Well, I suppose
you make way more money on physical.
But I'm sure, I think more people listen to streaming though, so maybe they're just doing it to try to even out like the percentage of people who only listen to digital.
K-pop fan wise, physical
I know
albums are a huge thing. So it was just really interesting. So each show has widely different, how much voting really does count, if it's 5%, if it's 25%, or digital streaming, it is what's going to be. And quite often it's limited to the Korean streaming sites. Like I don't think it usually expands out to international. So international fans are pretty much stuck trying to stream music videos, and voting is usually what they're kind of stuck doing. And going, yay, Korean fans, go stream, go do it. And then just watching horror as everything happens. Like, that's all you can do.
It explains why, though, too, sometimes you see them win maybe on like 3, but not one, one other one. And you're like, they won on all of these other ones. Why didn't they win on this one too? And then, because the algorithm's different. Like,
and then same, though it seems like the same, when everyone's doing comebacks at the same time, it seems like the same people are always there every single music show. Not always. So like the time that Astro won, the group that kept winning above them, they weren't there that day. And so they kind of had a chance to not fight their streaming numbers quite as crazy. And so that's why it was kind of more of a thing. So then it's like, all of a sudden this person isn't at this show. So then maybe someone else actually has a chance to win, which I never thought it was a big deal. I'm not saying that it's the end all be all of stuff, but I do know that it does open K-pop industry doors and then like variety show doors. If you're around long enough and you don't have a win, you're kind of stuck. You're stuck at that level until you finally, once you get at least one win, once you get a handful of wins, for some reason in the K-pop world, it does mean something.
Yeah, you've arrived, as it were.
Which to my little American brain, like, I used to be very dismissive of that. But other than like, yay, award that you put on the shelf, but like, no, it actually, in their industry, it does matter. It's like a ticket. It's a golden ticket, essentially. It's like, oh, okay.
Well, maybe in part because the voting and the streaming and everything says something about what their fan base is or how big their fan base is. So you've got these variety shows then that are going, oh, well, it does make sense to bring some of these guys on because they will bring the numbers. They will bring the views to our show.
And I have not heard overtly that like this variety show will only accept someone that has won or has won so many times. But I imagine that is probably a thing. At least. But
it's easier.
I would imagine the bigger ones probably it's easier to at least get their attention and to get their interest. Like, hey, look, I have 3 wins. Oh, well, we'll actually maybe listen to you a little bit more. So.
Or even we've got 1 win, but we've got 2 actors who have been in fairly popular dramas this year. So, like, like the diversity or whatever may draw that variety.
Right.
As well.
It's crazy just how competitive it all is. And then amongst the genres, so when I was watching these shows, seeing the wide variety of genres that would be on them, like all of a sudden there would be a band, an actual band. It's like, oh, poor sweeties are never going to win anything compared to like the K-pop idol groups because of the way the fan bases function. And so,
but I suppose that it's like just being on, like as like a smaller group, being on the show is just
it's a good thing in and of itself.
Yeah. You can pick up some more fans, But
I wondered, just based on, so when I was watching M Countdown with 17's comeback, which was lovely and massive, they did 3 songs, which typically, because I've stared at it, usually they only do 2 songs. A lot of the other groups, when they're doing their comeback stuff, which is like a freebie, they're not competing then, they get freebie shows when they're doing their comeback stuff. And all of a sudden, 17 was doing 3 songs, and then there was like a little mini documentary going on, and their sets were like beautiful and huge. I think there has to be, and I'm not vilifying this. It's just I think the way it probably works is the K-pop entertainment company probably invests however much money in order to, hey, we want to play 1 song. Hey, we want to play 2 songs. No, we want this massive 3-song documentary. Like.
Yeah.
And if you have the connection or if you have the money to make that.
They've probably done the math and it works out in their favor to pay that.
Right. And
but I feel like it almost doesn't, because it's like people were going to watch 17's comeback anyway.
It was really pretty, but I was like, this is noticeably different than the other things I have seen.
Yeah.
Wow. So, but I mean, it's all connected.
17 was just like, listen, we worked so hard on this choreography, like, we are bringing it, like, you better pay for the full package, Fletty. Like, we like, we're doing flips and throwing each other, like, no, you gotta show us all. Like, look at Woozy, he's so little, just let him do his thing. He's so little.
And I've been fangirling with a couple of friends during all these shows. And when we would see 17, pretty much all I ever say is, Woozy, he's so small.
I know, he's so small. He's such a little small boy. Like, I didn't used to like him that much, but like, he's really grown on me. Like, I was a Scoops fan. I was an S-Coops only. But then I was like, oh, that little demon child.
Well, he is incredibly talented with song variety and stuff. It's crazy.
But we're not here to talk about these boy groups we love today. No. We're here to talk about the OG K-pop singer.
Queen.
Now, I have a question because I've never actually figured it out. Is it BoA or is it BoA?
I've always heard it BoA.
It is listed on her Wikipedia as Quan BoA, like BoAH.
Yeah, that's her name.
That's her name.
Yeah,
but
and then the
BoA is like
something of angels.
Yeah,
but it's also an acronym.
It's I had it here. It's an acronym for 2 different things. It's like the Best of Asia and
accurate statement.
Voice of Angels, but like voice BV kind of is the same thing in Korean. So I think that's what it was. I had it pulled up and then I got rid of it because I don't remember.
So I honestly didn't know a lot about her before we started talking about this, and that's kind of why we're going to sometimes do music podcast episodes where we do talk about the groups that we know and love and we're very used to. But then we are going to try to stretch our boundaries and learn about either people that have been around for forever or maybe something that a lot of people don't talk about. So to stretch our own boundaries and learn about stuff.
Okay,
Definitely.
here on my drama list, it lists it as, it's an acronym for Best of Asia and Beat of Angels.
Mm.
And
That
she
makes
is
sense.
referred to as the Queen of Korean pop.
Yep.
Oh.
Accurate. That's an accurate statement. She's something else.
So I had no clue that she was pretty much the first of everything.
Of everything, yeah.
She really is what kind of made
Catapulted
Korean pop like super big, especially in like international stands like Japan.
Yeah, she was like the first one to go to Japan. And it was back before they had any sort of support for artists going to other countries. So no translators, nothing.
Yeah.
Send her and a manager by themselves.
Probably. I wonder how old she was when they went over to Japan. I didn't.
I
should have calculated
15
that.
or 16.
Yeah.
Because she was signed onto SM when she was like 11. Because she went with her brother. Her older brother was actually auditioning. And then they scouted her. She was a trainee for only a couple of years until they released her first album. And she knew Japanese. Like she taught herself or learned.
She released her debut album, ID Peace Be, at the age of 13 in August 25th of 2000.
It made me wonder if they would do that now.
Well, I just saw like something on Twitter about a new group where one of like the youngest member was born in 2008 or something, and I was like, that means she's 11. What? No.
I remember reading about it. There's a Chinese group with like super young.
Yeah.
It's a boy group, super young kids in it.
This says that where does it say here? She was forced to quit school to prepare in early 2001 for her first mini album, Don't Start Now. So, and then she took a hiatus from the Korean music industry to focus on the Japanese market.
Yeah, she was super huge in Japan.
Yeah.
She was like 13, 14 at that point.
She's on like the top charts with some of like Japan's like most famous singers. Yeah. It's actually pretty phenomenal what she did.
When you like just lay it out like that, like she quit school at 12 to go like be in Japan at 14 by herself. You're like, this is fucked up. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. I feel like this wouldn't happen now. Like, they probably bide there a little bit more.
You'd think, but wow.
I'm just thinking, like, what kind of parent would be like, yeah,
sure,
just go 13-year-old daughter to Japan.
Sure, why not?
And
then she was the first Korean singer to hit the Billboard charts too.
Which always kind of makes me laugh because you see like these. I don't like to rag on them, but these BTS fans who are like, BTS paved the way. Like, no, honey, no.
Like literally, BoA is the probably only reason they could actually put anything out in Japan.
Yeah.
If she hadn't have been so popular, I don't think they could have cracked that
market.
I thought what was interesting, I think when I was watching Happy Together, her appearance on Happy Together, part of it, she mentioned that she thinks that she is the third in SM Entertainment's like hierarchy because she thinks that HOT kind of came a little first and paved her way a little bit in order to kind of jumpstart her. So it's very obvious that she's very humble about that. Like she always tries to give them props. Like, but
HOT. Here's the thing though.
What they did, I wouldn't have been able to do what I did.
Yeah, but is HOT still touring today? No, my friend.
Well, and from watching her on Man on a Mission, they kept calling her director Kwan.
She's on the board.
Is she a director at SM now?
She is.
Yes, she's the creative director, I think is her title.
Yeah. Like if you watched
Master in the House.
Yeah, Master in the House. She actually like they show her like
her
when
office.
She doesn't work. Like she does a lot at SM.
Well, because it was funny that like when she came in and was asked to like introduce herself kind of thing and Heechul kept like like bowing kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, boss.
Technically, she's his boss.
She also has she has very different sides to her that I think she puts on without realizing she's even changing that much, but she definitely has her performance side, and then she has her business side, which she's very used to critiquing performances and just a lot of that stuff. So she's very, very, very professional in these different ways. So sometimes she'll look about how young she really looks. Like she'll look really innocent sometimes when she's just relaxed, but then she puts on her performance face, or then she puts on her like pretty much pantsuit that she's gonna go be executive director and go talk about stuff.
Yeah. It just looking at her Wikipedia discography. She has so she debuted in 2000, and we're technically in 2019 now, but she has 19 albums. 3 of them came out last year. Like really 3 albums.
Yeah, good. The ones that came out last year.
And then she has like 6 or 7 of those are Japanese. One of them's English.
9 Japanese albums, 9 Korean albums, and 1 English album.
She doesn't mess around.
No. It's impressive. And her music is impressive. Like, I never really checked her out before because I thought, she's going to be not my style. Like, it's going to be, but there's so much of it that she has bluesy stuff and jazzy stuff and hip hoppy stuff and dance mixes and ballads and pop, and like there's guaranteed there is something you will like something.
There's a version of pop
that you like,
you will
something.
Like.
Yeah, she's really not afraid to try any genre.
And I'll definitely say like some work better than others. And
but that's the same with any group, right?
Exactly. And I mean, you can't put out 19 albums and not have a few less than stellar songs. Like it's just not how it works.
It's not humanly possible.
So let's go ahead and play a game.
Alrighty.
What game are we playing today, Sky?
Oh, well, I wasn't in charge of the game. Amanda was in charge of the game.
Amanda, what game are we playing today?
It was Jesse's idea.
It was Jesse's idea.
Jesse, what game are we?
Didn't know I was in charge. It was just a throw out.
It was your idea. You're in charge.
All I think is I wasn't in charge. That's the only thing I'm certain of.
What do you mean, Nat? Come on, tell us. What are we playing today?
No, come on. I was trying to think of because we're always trying to think of games and kind of like tie them back into the episode. And so I thought that since we were talking about a female artist, that it would be fun to kind of zero in on solo female artists and come up with the ultimate girl group with those female solo artists. I like it.
Well, my personal favorite solo artist these days is probably Sunmi. Love her. She's I just love her. I love her, that's all.
So we're talking about solo artists who are not currently in a girl group, right?
Because she was in a girl group, but no. Currently,
I guess we could,
sold.
if you wanted to pick someone.
Because most of the ones I know used to be in girl groups.
Let's leave them in their girl group. Well,
yeah, we're not going to yank people out of currently.
Then all I got is IU. IU and Ellie. That's it. That's all I got. That's all I got, guys.
I picked a bunch of people. I kind of picked Eileen because I like her. I'm really getting into Chungha. I don't know how to say her name.
She used to be in a girl group, though. That's against her.
But her girl group was a 1-year thing from, it's Produce IOI or whatever.
True.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
Really.
That's like Post, as Plaza and stuff. Like, we're not, they've got groups that they're actually in right now.
Yeah. Well, since I can't pick Solji, my ultimate bias, because she's already in a group, I have Hayes.
Yeah,
she's good.
Her.
Ihiori, she still does stuff, even though she was part of a group.
She's still pretty great.
And then I really have gotten kind of into the past couple years Park Jimin. She's under JYP. She doesn't get to do a lot of stuff, but if you watch a lot of variety shows, she used to be one of the hosts on the that American variety show that's the international broadcast After School Club.
Yes.
But I think she's got an amazing voice.
She does great jazz and old style songs. She does covers of stuff from the 50s and things, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Well, I would say that if we're building a modern girl group, every group these days has to have a rapper. So my votes for this, the people I would put forward rapper-wise would be Yoon Mi or Jenya, who also has a great, singing voice. Both of them do. Both of them have great singing voices, but they're also fantastic rappers. Like, I love listening to them. I love their style and their beats and their flow. So I think they would both be excellent additions as rapper focus for our. I would also throw Saran out there as like.
She's wonderful. Saran is wonderful.
I would add Jessie to the mix.
I do love Jessie.
Yes, Jessie.
She's sassy. But she doesn't play with.
I don't think she plays well with others.
She doesn't really play well with others.
So maybe we leave her out of the mix. Never mind.
Yeah. They'll feature her on like a song.
There
or
you
something.
go. So is that the entirety of our girl group? Surely we're not gonna try to put positions and stuff into this because I think it'd be a little too difficult.
No,
other than the rapper thing.
They're all great dancers. They've all got their.
Let's not put Park Jimin in as the rapper. Let's let the rappers be the rappers, and we'll let the vocalists be the vocalists.
Exactly.
That's the plan.
We'll make the first ever good girl group that doesn't have to rely on just men's gaze, the male gaze to succeed.
The visuals.
Yeah, they should always just sing from behind, just
kind of like Sia, where
exactly.
you can't ever see her.
Are we leaving BoA out of this? I guess is she too high above?
No, she's the one putting them together.
Okay, yeah.
She's the mastermind of this ultimate girl group.
That sounds like her. We did watch some variety show appearances and stuff. Are there any funny episodes, funny stories from her that we want to talk about, or anything interesting that you guys wanted to share?
I did laugh a lot in the what's the other name? Knowing Brothers. That's the other name on the mission. I did I laughed a little bit. I really liked the section where they get the big bongy hammer and says stuff and they have to try and guess the answers. I really liked that part because I felt like I got to know so much more about her and her personality through that, so that was kind of cool. And then they did a sketch that was supposed to be a matchmaker marriage thing, and they only had
I'm gonna be honest, I don't really understand the concept of this show. It's the most confusing show to watch. I don't.
So you have to introduce yourself, and I get that concept. But then all of a sudden they're doing a play and they're
sometimes they'll have competitions.
They did a diction competition and they had this guy come in who I didn't recognize, but clearly was somebody, and they said he was a broadcaster, but I don't know.
He comes in a lot because he's also the gym teacher of the.
But
they did it a lot as well.
They had to read this in Korean. They were reading something about Persian history or something, pages out of a Persian history book that had been translated into Korean or something. And so all kinds of weird names and stuff. And they had to go through, and whoever could read the farthest without making a mistake the fastest was the winner. And she was the best. And she just kept going and read. And they all flubbed at the same spot, even if they. But it was interesting. It was it was goofy, but it was sort of okay, that was kind of fun. I really enjoyed the big matchmaking sketch better because I felt like she was just being herself, but that she had relaxed more and was more into it somehow at that point. So
she sort of strikes me as someone who's a bit shy. Especially on the Master in the House, she's
at
just
first she seemed a little bit shy.
She's I just stay at home and if I'm not at work,
Knowing Brothers, he was shy, but then it was by the time they got to this sketch part, she was a little more.
It just takes her a little to warm up.
The guys and they did a question and answer part where they had these questions and you all had to point at the person that you thought most embodied that or whatever, and she kept pointing at the one guy, the really tall big guy,
the basketball player.
Basketball player, And she kept pointing at him for everything. And these questions were like, who's the most likely to have a one-night stand? The most likely. And she kept pointing at him, and they're like, he's like, why me? Why me? Like, and then in the end, she was like, all the guys picked her. And so then she had to like pick which guy she would actually be match made with. And basically they stand them all in a line, and she had to like kick them out of the line. Like, push them out of the line.
It was a real Sophie's choice there.
She's clearly going to push him out because she keeps saying all these things about how he's, like a big skanky hoe. And then he hugged him and he was her choice. And he was like, it's me. And it was me. And of course, like, Heechul was one of the girls because, of course, he was.
Oh, yeah.
They always put him as a girl. Yeah.
Before they got to that question part, because apparently, like, Super Junior was in they were winning some award or something, and he had to go accept the award. So he, like, left and took off his, like, Kimi outfit and went off to accept an award. So she couldn't, she had no competition anymore after that. So everybody had to pick her. But she seemed to really get into it after a while. She seemed to warm up to them and really get into it.
I think she's also a little just more reserved, and I think that just stems from her having this long of a career, so she knows to be kind of like on the
always
offense,
on the alert about her.
Yeah, she doesn't want someone to like catch her off guard and say something or like
because that only makes sense. Like, if she started performing and being in the public eye at like 12, 13, you go one of two ways. You either become a crazy wild child or you just become an adult at like,
essentially.
Like, those are your two paths right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she has also kind of always seemed to me kind of more like she likes one-on-one connections more, because she's kind of in SM, she's always perceived as kind of like the older sister to everyone, which kind of really fits her board position, because she's like gets to be like one-on-one with a lot of the idols, and she's like said some stuff about how she really tries to commit herself to being the person who's going to be there for someone if they're having a really hard time, or like always making herself available as that, because she feels like that's kind of more important, that like everyone feels like they have someone, at least one person that they could talk to, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, she wants to be able to listen to them when no one else maybe will.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to be the squad mom of SM.
Yeah.
She essentially is, it seems
Well, she pretty much is, yeah.
It's funny, though, because she's not that much older than a lot of them.
But I mean, in terms
30.
of, like...
She'll be 30 this year.
Yeah, but like 20 years of, like, entertaining. It's like...
Yeah. She knows things.
She's been doing it for so long, and she's so poised, and she has so much history and so much, like I said, like Heechul, like just, bowing down to her and calling her and stuff, and like they're the same age. Like,
Heechul's a lot.
He's a lot older
than her. Yeah. So but it's still like he recognizes or shows respect there, even though he's older. Like, it's.
And also, I mean, like, even, like, just in terms of, like, Super Junior has their own label at SM. Like, they're their own entity, too. They're pretty high up on the food chain at SM, and she's still kind of that much higher than them.
It's kind of neat to see, because being more of a YG stan, as it were, more YG groups than SM groups for me, it's kind of refreshing to see a label where a female group or a female person, actor,
is in power,
has that kind of respect and power, because I don't see that at YG.
No.
Yeah, and it's also not just like a throwaway title. She actually has things to do. It's an actual position.
She's
it's
busy.
Not just like you've been here for a while, so we're going to put your name as board, which basically means you might get some money out of the deal, but you don't do anything really. It's just for the name. But that's not her.
She's amazing.
I was surprised in Master of the House when they showed up at her residence. I would have thought it would have been this big, huge, fancy thing.
Oh, no. It's like this cute little
apartment.
Very simple apartment.
And it just shocked me. I was like, wow. You would think she'd be living it up because she definitely has the income to do so.
Oh, she's very down to earth. Seems like a cool girl.
Yeah, definitely.
Just seems like somebody you would enjoy hanging out with.
Yeah.
She'd just be the one that you'd go over and just like have a beer with and just sit and talk and just hang out.
She'd have the ice cream when you break up with your boyfriend. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
but she would also have the baseball bat and like have your back when you ran over to smash his car.
Yes.
Yeah. And then she'd also tell you maybe you shouldn't have done those things too.
Yeah. And then she'd give you bail money to get out.
Yeah.
Like,
and then she just
full rounded the whole.
And then she would tell you, "Do you really need a man? I think you can do this."
She's the total package.
Yeah, perfection.
It does make you. Not that I want her to be any different than she is, but I'm sure she has so many stories from all of her years of experience that we're never going to hear because she seems more like a listening type person, or that's kind of the way she likes to interact with people. And it just seems like we're not going to ever see, all the things that she did. You only see the public side of it. You're probably not going to hear the backstage stuff all that much.
Yeah.
Like, hey, here's all my struggles. I can't see her talking about that really.
Yeah, she talked a little bit in Knowing Brothers about some of the stuff that, happened to her on various tours, and like she thought she broke her pelvis on stage at one point, and it was like she was in massive pain, but she tried to like keep going for the fans because you've paid money for my tickets, right? So like I gotta keep it up. But she said she, got off and her manager was like, "You're clearly in pain. Let's put you in a wheelchair and take you to the hospital." And, and then she got this like, the question was, what was the compliment that I'd never gotten before that I got from the doctor? And it was like, "You have a really pretty pelvis bone." When he was looking at her x-rays.
I suppose endearing and a little creepy.
Like, and then when you realize like how young she started, you're like, how young was she? Because like, was this like super creepy or just like marginally creepy, But it was interesting to see her talk about her manager, and her manager's a woman, and just that she's her best friend. Her manager.
Yeah, and they've been with each other forever.
Yeah, and which is sort of awesome and
I always like seeing like managers and artists who are obviously like really close. Like it just sort of warms my heart a little.
Yeah.
Like I love the show The Manager, where it's basically just managers and people hanging out. But like it warms my heart a little to be like,
it's a found family.
Exactly. And we know how much we love found families.
Well, that's like with Astro. They had a manager for quite some time, and then for a while he left, and he was pretty much not much older than them, big brother. I mean that's how they treated him, and then he left for a while, and they wouldn't say it, but they were pretty devastated. But then he came back, and all the fans rejoiced because their brother was back. So then we feel better about life.
Yeah.
Well, it's like I my favorite, I have to say, is probably Yoo Byung-jae and his manager, who's just like clearly more competent than the person he manages in every single aspect of their lives, like in every way, and it's just constantly like they live together, and they like have lived together for 10 years, and they have like matching pajamas, and he's just like I don't know what to do with him, but the manager artist interaction, I would actually love to see her on that show. BoA. I think that would be fun.
So how does that show work? The artist comes on and their manager talks, or
no?
What?
So basically, so they have like a panel of people who are always on, and then so half of the show will be like them with their manager, like a different one every week, and the other half is they'll have like a guest who comes on, and then it'll show the guest with their manager for half the episode, like just sort of, and then like the manager will be like, they have like the little interviews on these sorts of shows where they just sit in like a blank room and just like answer questions. Like, so it'll just be the manager, and the manager always has a shirt that says like their artist name and then like manager underneath it, and they sit there and like answer questions. But some of them are just so cute that you just like Winner's manager Oh, such a little cutie. He's like so concerned. He's like, I try to buy like food that they like, like I'm worried. And then like Mino's like, give me your shirt. I'm gonna like make it fancier, and is like painting on his nipples, like and then like Kwang Yi was on like as soon as he got out of the military, and literally like the segment they picked, he had never met his manager before because it was a new manager. Oh. So it's like it started with him getting out of the military and like meeting his manager, who's like, "Hi, I'm your manager." And he's like, "Whoa!" So like it's just like it's cute. And then the ones who are on all the time, like you sort of get to know their managers as celebrities in their own rights, like
right.
They like win awards and stuff now too, so they get like commercials.
They have their own stands and stuff. Like,
oh yeah, definitely.
BTS fans love like the BTS managers and stuff. Like they, are big fans of them as well, and include them as like members of the band and stuff when they're talking about them, and cute.
There was one group, I don't remember who it was. They were doing like a fan signing, and the managers kept on putting the stuffed animals in different,
like trying to make it stand up, like trying to prop it up instead of taking it away.
Yeah.
I know that for Astro's upcoming tour, it seems like a lot of the dates are the members' birthdays, and one of them is their manager's birthday too.
Aww.
So I was like, aww.
I liked they're not together anymore, but like FX used to have a manager that was like really close with Amber. And she'd just be like, Manager Opa. And of course it's like Amber, and she's like very like loud and precocious and the American of the group. And he's just not that way. And so she like mess with him, or like you'll see him like in the background of like the one music video that Amber actually shot the entire thing and edited. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. All Mine. Like, it's literally just back behind stage, and you'll see him in the background, and he's just, like, every time, he's just, like, and she's like, Manager Opa.
I always love, like, on V-Live, where they accidentally, like, reveal their managers, and their managers are like, oh! I sometimes feel like I need a manager in my life, despite the fact that I do nothing.
I feel whatever, like you do lots of things.
I feel like I need a manager to keep me on track, to make sure I do the thing.
They could drive you to yoga.
Like, I wouldn't have to take the bus like some sort of school. They could come to yoga with me.
You just get Briggsy to come to yoga with you.
Yeah, he works.
And he doesn't drive either, so it really
That's right.
Help
I still have to take the bus.
So, BoA's music videos and songs and stuff, let's talk about some favorites.
Woman is amazing.
Woman is great.
I like Woman. I don't like the part where they say the word woman.
No, but I like the video.
It bugs me. Oh, yeah, the upside down choreography, the walking in the sky.
Like, damn, beautiful. Girl, damn.
That is the core strength you need to be up. Oh, yeah. That was just
abs under that.
I think that was when it came out. I think it was like Asian Junkie or somebody who was just like, here she is, just saying to all the young things like, psh, like, suck it.
I remember seeing that, and I was like, wait, what? Wait, no, wait, what? Oh, like it was like a real moment of this is happening, like this is real.
And then that she did it on the shows, like when she was doing her like going on all the comeback shows and everything.
Yeah.
That was part of the choreo. It wasn't just like a one-time deal. No. She's doing that on stage every time she does that song. And you're like, what?
You gotta have a lot of trust in your backup dancers for that one.
Yeah. Well, she's also has a really great history of being kind of one of the ones to consistently go on shows and never use all of her backing track. It's literally her live and doing the choreography like at the kind of maximum level. And that like even when she first debuted, that's like kind of been a really big thing with her, that she's just gonna do it.
And I like that because there's nothing that really turns me off a group like when you can clearly see like concert footage and they're obviously not singing. Like, I mean, was it like Super Junior at like KCON or something, and like they're not even trying, they're not even mouthing the words. Like
they've given up. Like
whatever.
Doesn't care anymore.
I don't know. Like that's one of the things that kind of keeps me from paying money for concert tickets, because I can listen to a recording of you at home for free. Like I don't need to pay $100 to like listen to you, like watch you dance to a Pandora track. Like, so, but yeah, so to me that's impressive, because I know that more and more these days, especially with such difficult choreo, because like it's not easy to dance and sing at the same time.
And they both require so much breathing. Like I
can't even like walk and sing at the same time. Are you kidding me? Like
and BoA's like, hey, I'm just gonna be upside down now.
Yeah. So yeah, that's impressive stuff. I think I like Woman. I like her album One Shot, Two Shot from last year, like more than the Woman.
No. Negadala is really good. I really like that song.
But I like some of her older stuff too. Like I'm just looking at the list that I've like, I was writing things down as I was listening to her this past couple weeks, and I like Listen to My Heart and a song called Jazz Club. Like as well.
That one's good.
So I found that I liked way more of her music than I thought I would.
If you're like really into kind of like pop, her, like, especially like if you're a big Britney Spears fan or something like that, her first Japanese album is actually fantastic, especially knowing how young she was and how young in her career that is. Like that's some of my favorite songs, like still, like they're like very cheesy and very like 2000s, but they're such great songs. They're just great pop songs. You're like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and like sing at the top of my lungs and like crank the volume up and pretend I'm like in high school again.
I enjoyed the Eat You Up music video. Partially
that
because
song's on my workout playlist all the time. It's a good one.
Partially because and then Rock With You as well. I don't often see Korean female singers portrayed as having a lot of power in their music videos. And these specific ones weren't really on the seductive side. It was more, so the Eat You Up music video is it's almost as if she had superpowers when she was dancing. And you don't typically get to see that as much. Whereas guy groups or guy vocalists, like, they sometimes get cool powers to do stuff, and just women don't typically get to. And I was like, yay, she's doing some fun thing that often girl groups don't get to do. Like, I mean, it almost felt very EXO to me for a second. I was like, I'm glad she got to do something like that. I don't see girls get to do that very often. And then the Rock With You, like, there was some martial arts stuff going on. It's like, you go. Like, again, I don't see that all that often. So it's fun.
She feels a little bit like, what we were saying before about her being like the boss, the queen, that like she's achieved this level where she can literally do whatever she feels like, and it's going to work and it's going to be good. And even if it's not, she's almost untouchable at this point. Like, even if she had a big flop, you'd still make it. It would still make money, and you'd give her another album. Like, it's not, she can't, like, short of having some like huge like
awful thing,
drug, sex, crazy scandal, which I can't imagine her having.
It seems unlikely at this point.
There's just nothing, you can't imagine anything that would topple her at this point. Like, there's just nothing that could take her down. So she can try to be experimental if she wants to. She can do a weird concept but I think she also knows where her personal line is and what she wants to do and what she's willing to do. And I don't get the sense that she would cross that line either. She's only going to do the things she wants to do and that she's comfortable doing. Well,
it's nice that she has the power to decide that for herself too. Like, she probably has boundaries, and there's not going to be anyone pushing her about that. Whereas trainees that really have no say in things, they don't get that type of leeway. But I mean, she has well earned it. It's great.
And I'm sure she didn't pop out that way. You know what I mean? Like when she was 11 and having a debut, I'm sure that like manufactured as all get out, and she had very little say in that. But the fact that she's built this career and she's built it in a solid way is really impressive. I mean, it's impressive for any woman to do. Like, when you see somebody like Beyonce or somebody who has built themselves a career and an empire and a whole thing, and you don't always see women who get to do that with their careers, who get to direct their careers and have control, and it's nice. I like it.
More of that entertainment industry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, it's like that's really great that she gets to do that now. You get the vibe that she would like that for everybody too. I mean, not necessarily the authority, but the way she does like listening to the idols and helping them with their problems and stuff. You get the vibe that she wants everybody to be in a good mental space, wants everybody to, even though they're going to be trying their hardest and probably have limitations on what they get to choose, she still hopes that they keep at it, work hard, like I don't know. It seems like she wishes the best for everybody, even though some are going to make the cut, some aren't. She still is very positive with how she tries to help them get further.
And I think her song Woman kind of like signifies that, because she didn't just write it for herself to be like, I'm empowering myself as a female. She's like wrote it to empower everyone,
Anything else with BoA that we want to discuss?
Oh, also, she's super pretty. I'm just
she's
throwing that out there.
Right?
But like effortlessly. Like she doesn't have to do a single thing.
No, she's just gorgeous all the time. See, I personally believe that if you're beautiful on the inside, you have to do less work to be beautiful on the outside.
True. I have to say, it is absolutely true. Have you ever met that girl that like you think she's super gorgeous and she's super well put together and stuff, and then the more you get to know her, the uglier she gets?
Yeah.
And I feel like it was the other way. Kind of maybe comes across as kind of a pretty, maybe a little plain girl or something, and the more she talks, the more you see of her, the prettier she gets, because she's clearly pretty on the inside. That's the way she comes across anyway.
She also likes to drink, and she totally owns up to that.
Relatable.
Very. See, she totally would hang out with us.
Oh, yeah, totally. She'd be our BFF for sure.
So, in other K-pop news, is there anything that everyone's looking forward to in the coming months? And by months, I just mean February.
It's like, are we talking about the whole year here? My goodness.
I just meant February.
Well, going on my Dreamcatcher binge, Dreamcatcher is coming out with a comeback soon. They haven't released the date. It was supposed to be last month, but it got pushed to this month. So hopefully they've been teasing things. So maybe we'll get something. Because they're going on tour too, so I think they're trying to kind of kick off that, release that music video, and then do the tour.
Well, Taemin has an album coming out on the 11th, and I'm excited for the sexy good time. That is always every time he puts out anything. And then on the 18th, my little men, Monster X, have a new album coming out as well. I'm being well fed this month.
And Brown Eyed Girls have a comeback?
Yes, they're having a comeback.
They haven't had a song since like I've been in K-pop. Like it's 4 years since their last comeback. So
I think
I didn't know they were still
like
a group.
Yeah, they're like the longest running girl group ever.
Yeah, I didn't know they were still a group either.
So, yeah,
I think there might have been something a little bit like maybe a couple of years ago. I just don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
They rose to popularity in 2008. So
abracadabra.
Almost well, I mean, it says rose to popularity. It doesn't say they debuted there.
No,
so,
they.
If that had been their debut, you'd think you would have had them have a comeback last year for their like 10-year anniversary or whatever. But
yeah.
So 2006, it looks like.
Also, JYP's new girl group is debuting this month, right? ITZY?
Right. ITZY one? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
Infinite's having a comeback. Did not see that one coming.
what?
So that's been a little while.
So it'll be Infinite minus Hoya?
I guess so.
Is that the way that works?
Yeah. Because
I was way late to the Hoya memo like a couple weeks ago.
And then tomorrow, as of the recording date, VIX has something. Not tomorrow, the day after, on the 1st, on Friday.
Yeah.
And something coming up.
I'm looking forward to that because they always do some crazy concept.
always
And they pull it off.
Like
they're also in the like gotta go to military soon, so they're probably like gearing up for that.
VIX is, I don't love most of their music. Like I like it fine. Like they're just not on my top, but their concepts. They get me every time.
I would watch their videos for hours, but I don't want to pay money for their music.
Yeah,
I
like them well enough. Like
I will go to their concert. If they come, I'm going. Like I would go to the concert because that will be a gorgeous concert.
I feel like they put on one hell of a show.
For sure.
Like we would all come out converts to some strange cultist religion that we didn't know existed.
So speaking of military service too, BoA is enlisting this month, and he has an album that is being released on the day that he enlists. Apparently,
to keep us, us fed while he's gone.
Exactly, it's like nice and bad. And I've got one of my mutuals is like a super loco stan, and she's freaking out a little. I'm super excited for that day and like hate that day.
Yeah, but like he'll come back with a nice buff military.
Very true.
2 years, and then we can all enjoy that. I can't even imagine him. I can't even imagine him with like muscles.
He always seems like just such a soft little cutie. But then in that like the videos and stuff, the song he did with Hwasa, and like when he's just like sitting at the bar drinking and staring at her, you're like, that's not cute. There's something else going on there. Like that's a whole
like you got a little bit of game, sir. Like not my type of game, but something there.
Speaking of Hwasa, she's coming out with the solo stuff this month, which I'm super excited about because I love her voice.
And Winner apparently is too.
And
this month.
All right.
And Henry.
And Henry, yeah.
Oh, Henry.
And that could go either way.
I know.
What do you mean?
Like, well, sometimes I love Henry, and sometimes I don't. Like his music, I either love it or
completely. Like what happens with me is I either love it or it like goes through my head and then I don't remember it again. Like it's just completely forgettable.
They're fantastic. Forgettable. It's not sort of in between stuff for me. Like that was probably listening to the BoA stuff. That was probably the only collab that I heard that didn't do it for me was the one with Henry. Oh, sorry, baby. Like I try to love him because like Canadian, so
Yeah. You gotta represent.
So, but and I adore Henry. I think he's fun.
I think he's a delight.
And he's a great singer. Like that, he's had some really great songs. But I don't know. I'll look forward to hearing it. Will I love it?
Is this his first song since leaving SM?
Yes, I think so.
I wonder if that will affect things.
It'll be interesting to see what his style is like, if it, change. It's
a couple of groups that I'm interested in seeing what they'll put out. SF9. I've liked some of their stuff in the past. And then I call them on-off. It's ONF.
ONF, yeah.
and their title songs, they've been pretty cute in the past too. So it'll be interesting to see what they bring.
Did the BTS, did the big hit group, did they actually release a song or just
I think they just started talking about them like, hey, they exist.
They're coming. It's coming.
It might be months from now, but
okay, but I want to hear the music.
Yeah.
Right? Like,
What type of music are you gonna be?
Yeah, like I don't know,
Right.
like there's some good-looking young men, sure, but like, what do they sound like?
Yeah.
I really got into Top Dog right as like some of them were joining the military and some of them were like doing all this stuff, and basically they went from like 13 members to like 5.
Yeah.
And then they decided, we're not really Top Dog anymore, so we're going to become Zen OT. And I was following them on social media and stuff, and they were posting videos and pictures and all kinds of stuff. But I'm like, but music, boys. Like, I'd like to hear some music. And they released like a Japanese ballad, but Top Dog was very dance heavy and rap heavy, and I really enjoyed that. So I'm like,
so that's
okay,
like a totally different thing.
And I never learned all of their names, because by the time I was at that stage of like, maybe I should learn their names, half of them were gone already. So I was like, forget it. So I don't even know if like what I liked about the group is still in the group. So the music, for crying out loud, please. Your show of you guys hanging out is great, but like, sing something.
Well, this has been another fantastic and fun episode of the Certified Nunas. You can find us wherever you're listening to us, but we're also on Spotify, Google Play, iTunes, Podbean, YouTube. We have an Instagram that I'm supposed to update and sometimes remember to do. And we're on Twitter at Certified Nunas. We love hearing from you. And we really want more people to come to our movie watching nights. So all the info for that is always on Twitter. So our Twitter's a good time. We love gifts. We love you.
We'll send you a GIF.
We'll send you a gift. That's right. I hear it's pretty cold in most places across the English-speaking world at the moment. So everyone stay safe, stay warm, and have a fantastic night. Bye.
Bye.